Hello and welcome back to Join Dota League Season 4 here on HeflaTV 2. This is going to be Game 2 of a best of 3 series between Leviathan and Team Pineapple, where Team Leviathan were able to take game number 1. I'm GrandSV, and I will be joined once again by Zen.
Yeah, hello. So, yeah, we've seen a rather one-sided game 1 for Leviathan, but Team Pineapple, they had the tools to do things, and right now they have the Tidehunter and the Brewmaster picked up there. So they were looking for some heavy team fights again, and I hope they will get them online this time.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest issue is just they weren't able to utilize anything they got in the early stages of the game. Tidehunter, I think, is definitely a solid replacement for the Queen of Pain, who just really didn't accomplish anything. Ravage, a lot easier to put together than a Queen of Pain that's not really getting much at all. For Leviathan, they're going to open things up with Vengeful Spirit, like game number 1, and they're going to follow that up with a Doom. Already some really hard lockdown for both the Tidehunter and the Brewmaster, whoever's ult they deem scarier.
Mm-hmm. So, actually you have the same bans, right? No, the Scarif Mage is not banned right now.
Yeah,
So
I think it
the
was
Void-
Faceless Void banned out instead of this guy.
Yeah. So they ban out the Witch Doctor is interesting. I mean, they could use the Witch Doctor for the strategy, but right now I don't think Pineapple is going to win this game without having push, because they actually aren't experienced enough, I think, to outplay really Leviathan. So they need at least one or even two heroes that can push or split push in the team to be able to beat them.
Yeah, potentially just go for a super aggressive timing-based push, like Venomancer, Pugna, Death Prophet. This style of hero, just going really aggressively at the enemy's towers. And since Leviathan have already picked up a Tomb and Vengeful Spirit, heroes that aren't really great at counter-pushing at all, even though they have some tools at their disposal, it is something that can be abused by them. So I definitely think they should take that opportunity.
Yeah, they have the Tidehunter and the Brewmaster for the mid and off lane, so that's decent. They have some team fights, they have some team fight control, but yeah, they need to have some really big 3 picks, maybe a really hard tri lane for the bottom lane, and a good rotation combination, roaming combination on the supports. I guess the Witch Doctor would have fit that, but I guess the Jakiro would be fine again, and maybe even a Lashrock support. I'd love to see that. But yeah,
One can
Scarif
always hope.
Mage.
But Scarf Mage is going to be just the standard support the Team Pineapple are going to set their sights on. For Leviathan, it's going to be a Rubik, and a pretty good pick here, although generally he's a pretty lackluster support. Right now, he has a lot of tools at his disposal to steal from the enemy team. The Silence from Scarf Mage is always nice to get your hands on, but if you can accomplish it, getting your hands on a Ravage or a Split can be just as scary as having the Tidehunter Brewmaster on your own team.
Yeah, and right now I think the only spell that Rubik doesn't want to have is the Arcane Bolt, and that says everything, because the Arcane Bolt is actually not a bad spell on Rubik as well, so yeah. Good setup here for the Rubik to steal spells. And right now Team Pineapple is building a team really only for teamfight control, but they need to be able to take objectives. They will not win the game without taking objectives, so they need a tool to do that. And
Definitely.
team fighting is not the only thing that's actually important in Dota.
Right now, Team Pineapple will snag themselves up in Ogre Magi as their 4th pick, and it's another hero that's pretty darn good. He has fallen very heavily out of favor in the recent patches. This is pretty much the dream team when it comes to the previous patch of Dota in 6.82. This would have been pretty much ideal. But then again, it also doesn't lend itself towards taking those objectives. It's pretty good team fighting potential, but Leviathan, they definitely have ways to stymie that. If they get a Doom initiation on the Brewmaster, burst him down before the split, defensive swaps to keep themselves safe from, most importantly, the Skyrath Mage ultimate.
Yeah,
It
and
really
they have nothing
feels-
for the late game.
Yeah,
Pineapple is really out of late game control this time again. And yeah, with them just winning team fights, it's not enough, because you need to really take objectives against Leviathan. I guess they will go for the late game again. And if Leviathan is giving a trade, even if it's a bad trade, and they don't lose something really important objectives, they will be fine with it.
yeah. Right now, Leviathan are taking their time with this last pickup. I don't think you could go wrong with like a Phantom Assassin or a Slug here. And they
Yeah,
are going to go
PA.
for PA. Yeah.
And the Omni, they need to ban Omni Knight right now, I think.
It's not something that immediately comes to mind when you look at most teams, but for Leviathan in particular, they really love running with that hero, and this Viper ban, yeah.
They could really do an aggressive trialing there. They could set up the Rubik in the mid lane, even the Vengeful Spirit. They could even lose the Vengeful Spirit to put in the mid lane, just get some fast level 6 and do some heavy contesting there on Pineapple. They could possibly put them down on 12 minutes or so, if they do so.
Yeah. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to how Leviathan actually lane these heroes, although Phantom Assassin isn't going to be doing wonderfully 1v1 versus Tidehunter or Brewmaster, still is going to be serviceable, and they could throw that PA towards mid, safe lane farm the Doom, and throw an Omni Knight towards the off lane. Or they could go for something entirely different. If they aren't going to run this Doom towards the off lane, or are going to run this Doom towards the off lane, there's a plethora of mid heroes, and honestly, pretty much anything they want is on the table right now. The Storm Spirit that you talked about in the first game would be pretty good here for Leviathan, and I'd like to see that for Jenkins.
Yeah. But just imagine a Rubik who's going for the mid lane, having a really fast level 6, just going on the lane and do tower pushes on the Viacent sides, stealing like a stun from Ogre Magi, or maybe even a silence there on the Scarab Mates. The Rib could really do some work here, even becomes before Tidehunter's Ravage and Brewmaster split comes online.
It would definitely be interesting to see, but
yeah,
I'm not
I mean,
sure
it wasn't the meta before. I mean, like 1.5 years before, Rubik mid lane was actually quite solid. So
yeah, I think the biggest advantage of throwing a Rubik towards mid lane is hope to see that Aghanim Scepter, and there is the Brewmaster ulti to steal and get the Aghanim's upgrade for it. But just chain stealing the spells could be interesting to see. I doubt that Leviathan are going to do it this game around, but if any team is going to run a mid Rubik, Leviathan would probably be pretty high up on the list.
I don't think actually the Aghanim Scepter would be the right call on the Rubik, to be honest.
No, but I think
because you need the Force Staff, you need the Blink Dagger, and that's all. Maybe he will Scepter as well and the Hex, but that's optional. Only the really Blink Dagger and Force Staff is enough to make really much work on the Rubik there.
Yeah, I think you could pick a different mid hero to fill that same role and probably do it a tad bit better.
Yeah. But in this kind of strategy lineup right now, Rubik will be having a really good time if he's in the mid lane, because he has so much nice spells to steal, and also easy spells to steal. I mean, Tidehunter is having some really nice spells to steal because the animation of Tidehunter is really slow, so he has a lot of time there.
For Team Pineapple, what do you go here? It's going to be a Luna. I like this pick.
Old school.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this with the Skyroth and the Ogre, so I don't know if it's actually. I guess it's having some pretty good burst, yeah. With the Lucent Beam, the Ogre Stun, and the Phase Bolts and Silence, yeah, of course.
And even later towards the game, Bloodlust on Luna is pretty darn ridiculous. Getting those glaives bouncing. I think this fills some of what we were talking about earlier. It's going to give them a decent amount of early push, and it's going to help them inside those team fights. I think this is probably one of the better games to go for a Luna, but then again, it is up against a Doom, and if Luna's the only one getting that farm, could be in for a really scary time. It's going to be a Razor last pick.
This is a scary lineup here for Leviathan. Brewmaster's having a really tough time in the mid lane against the Raver, and Luna is having a pretty tough time against the PA, because the PA is coming online so much faster than the Luna is, and the PA is actually crushing Luna in the one versus one situation.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how it all shakes down. At the very least, Luna is going to have a pretty nice lane up against Jenkins on the Doom. They should be able to zone out very effectively with the Scarth Mage and send him towards the jungle, so I think it does depend very heavily on Tails' performance on this Luna, and I suppose I'll go ahead and introduce the rest of his team. 7N's going to be playing on the Scarth Mage, and our support's going to be Cupcake on the Ogre. Mid lane is going to be played by Bolo on the Brewmaster, and off lane Tide going to be handled by NS Art.
Yeah, and on the side of Leviathan, we have Shadow handling the Phantom Assassin on the top lane. We have Nusham on the Rubik, and also the Vengeful Spirit support played there by Flying Seeper. Looks like Shibi is handling the Razor in the mid lane, and off lane will be Jenkins on the Doom. And yeah, Goldak Kefon is called, but this time it's the other way around. Team Pineapple will have the late game and the super late game with the Luna, and Leviathan will need to have Shredder to have some really nice farm, get an early advantage.
Yeah, and I think that is
Because,
definitely something to keep your eye on. In the mid lane versus the Brewmaster, it's a matchup that we've seen time and time again. It should be pretty good for Shibby, although Brewmaster won't be completely shut down. By default, Razor should be doing just fine.
Yeah, the clap is still doing work, but it's tough for the Brewmaster there.
It definitely is. Well, as far as the contention for the early rune spots, we're going to see Bolo bump into 3. They have a lift and a magic missile. They'll throw the missile into Bolo first as Nusham decides not to throw anybody up and is in fact dropping incredibly low. Might be our first blood. They need a little bit more damage, and one more smack of the anchor is going to draw that one for NSR. Honestly, not sure how that went down.
A gift again.
Yeah, it is.
They had the ward there, so they were able to see them here on the cliff and just hanging around, and they still took the initiate. They took the fight for the rune. They should just give that up. It's not worth it, actually. I mean, they don't have the right lineup to fight for the rune there.
It was a really awkward engagement too, just holding onto those disables, and it really felt like they were kind of indecisive. Rubik was kind of standing there, do I lift, do I not? And in the end, that indecision is going to get him killed, and NSR's going to have a much better time up in this off lane than he would normally, although it's still not going to be the greatest of times for the Titan.
Oh, Shibby is just winning him his early game right now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, 35 damage stolen this early on. And the club already been used. No bottle available there for Bolo to have another club after he's using this.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Tough.
It's
really tough.
Unfortunately, he's also going to be disconnected, so maybe that played some sort of part in that. I think the link was more or less done before he actually DC'd, but still, we are going to have a little bit of pause there. That's pretty much to be expected. It's unlikely that Razor actually kills off the Brewmaster, but he's not going to be getting much more than experience. Yes,
he just denied all his creeps.
Yeah.
Really nicely played there from Shitty, while just static linking the Bolo, and he was not really realizing what's happening there, and Shibby just took advantage of the lane. No creep kill there for Brewmaster, except the range, the one melee creep he did early on, and that's a whole wave of experience missing this early on for the Brewmaster.
Yeah, which is definitely huge. It pretty much ensures that Shibby is going to be able to maintain this advantage in the mid. It's something that's pretty necessary when you're running a Razor. Down towards bottom, Jenkins has actually just not shown his face in the lane pretty much at all. He's gone straight off into the jungle, which is fine, but that does free up the Ogre and Scarth Mage to pull.
That's actually quite dangerous. A dangerous call from Leviathan, I think. Because, I mean, of course, the Doom is not really getting so much on the bottom lane done, but he's getting something, especially with Devour. You can get more in the jungle, but you don't want to leave the Luna having solo XP, solo gold there, and having an Ogre and Skyroth combination to just freely roam without any detection on the lane. That's devastating.
It is.
I mean, this support combination crushed anyone's mid, I think, yeah.
And NSR, in the meantime, lifted up Magic Missile. They just need a little bit more damage. Is it going to be there? It won't, as NSR survives with about 20 HP or so. 10 going up throughout all of that.
Shibby in the mid lane. Again. No mana available, but the bottle will be there in a minute or so for Bolo, but no damage again, and Shibby's just controlling him in the mid lane. There's no chance for the Brewmaster to do anything.
Yeah, so I think pretty much the end of the story is that both safe lanes are doing fine with Team Pineapple getting a slight advantage, but that advantage is pretty much being met by Shibby getting pretty much whatever he wants inside this mid lane. I think the decision of having the Doom not be in this bottom lane is going to be good as long as the Scarth Mage and Ogre aren't able to accomplish
they need to
anything.
punish it. I mean, they're pushing right now, that's decent and so, but what does the actually tier 1 tower on the bot lane bring you this early on? I mean, some gold, but it's not the biggest deal. They should just keep the Luna on the safe lane, keep the tower tier 1 from the dire side alone, and survive, so they can actually do some roaming stuff, keep the Luna farming at a safe position all the time, and take some advantage from the roaming combination there.
Yeah,
that's the best choice for them.
I do like this move of Leviathan to throw Nusham down towards the bottom lane as well. He has complete vision of these two supports with the high ground ward here, spotting out both Cupcake and 7N, so it's unlikely that Nusham's actually going to fall here. He should be able to just get experience and every once in a while pull the creep aggro off.
It's not the ward of Leviathan.
Oh,
right?
it's not. I suppose that's right, that is the Radiant ward. The Dire ward was placed over towards the rune spot. Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, they were just sitting on the lane. They're stealing Luna's experience, and they're not doing roaming stuff. And the Luna's on the safe lane, so against the Rubik, even 1v1, he's fine. So they should just leave him alone there.
Yeah,
Just maybe do 1 or 2 pulls, stack the jungle, so he could just, if he has his helm, he could just like farm the jungle as well. And do some roams, especially help the Brewmaster in the mid lane. I mean, he's having such a disadvantage, and they need to help him.
Yeah,
and the Razor, it's a gankable target, so...
He's definitely not the easiest of kills, and is annoying to gank, but definitely help him out. It's
they got enough diff abled, so they get the slow from the Skyruff and the stun, so and another slow from the ignite. They should be fine.
Definitely. Well, they're going to continue with this push, so at the very least they are going to get this tier 1 tower, but I do agree with you. Cupcake and 7N are probably, more than anything, missing out on a big opportunity to get an advantage for the team.
Oh my god, it's so much damage for the Razor. He's able to right-click down him, yeah. Oh my god, that was such a misplay. They were running through the rune and just Razor was zapping him from before he even the 50 seconds or so. The Razor started to suck him, and Bolo was just standing here. He wanted the rune so bad.
In the meantime, fight down towards bottom. Cupcake blocked off inside the creeps. Is going to look for a juke spot throughout the trees, and he is going to be able to find that, although cut off by Flying Zebra. Nusham also low, looking for that Lucent Beam, fogged by the woods, but then again, Luna is going to be able to find a spot around that. Now Flying Zebra is in a whole heap of trouble. 1 Fire Blast and a couple of right clicks. That's going to be more kills going the way of Team Pineapple than Leviathan really wanted to give away.
Yep. Still, Shibi is running out of control, and they need to handle him.
Yeah, they definitely do. That was, again, Leviathan kind of throwing them a bone that they really didn't need to. Doom has been left completely free inside the jungle, which is exactly what he wants to be. He does have a sack as well as the wild can creep, so he is able to clear this
The best thing is about that, Leviathan was not only losing or giving Luna a decent trade on the bot lane, they were also losing top lane at the mid time because Tidehunter is smashing Shredder's face there in the 1-on-1 versus situation. With the Anchor's match, Shredder's doing nothing against him.
Yeah, there really isn't anything you can do against him. You get a couple of CS here and there with the Stifling Dagger, but that's about all you can do. Is Shredder, in the early stage, was CSing well, but at this point, really isn't doing much of anything. So Leviathan probably committed a little too hard down towards the bottom lane. It's going to open up Team Pineapple to a decent advantage. Currently, the Tidehunter is actually out CSing the Brewmaster.
Yeah, and still the Skyruff mate is staying on the bottom lane, on the lane, together with the Luna. I don't get it. I mean, they have the ward there, so they know there's nothing really coming towards the Luna. Why do they need to protect him?
Yeah.
He's even stealing his CS, man.
I don't really know. If this was in a pub, he'd be getting flamed so hard. Either way, they're going to be able to put some pressure onto the tower, so I suppose he is doing that much, but still, Scarlet Mage, you're missing out on a lot of that early game fighting potential. A lot of damage really being put to waste. 2 Clarities aren't doing anything inside your inventory.
Skyruff is a support with such a high movement speed that you need to be afraid everywhere on the map for ganks. Especially in the combination with Ogre Magi, it's a perfect setup, and they're just not using it, especially right now.
Speaking of ganks, looks like we're going to have one up towards top with Bolo bringing in. They get vision of him, however, with the Wave of Terror as Flying Zebra now in a bit of trouble. It's going to turn for a magic missile onto Bolo. They'll be able to bring down the Vengeful Spirit, but at the very least, Venom Assassin is able to juke off into the trees. Is Shredder out of the woods yet, however? He has a Quelling Blade for maybe a little bit more juking, and for now, Bolo
he got a Phantom Strike. He got a Phantom Strike to the range creep if he wants to.
Oh, he's going to bump into Bolo, so now he's going to be forced to eat all the way through the trees. They bring in Cupcake over on the side. He has 1 Fire Blast, going to Phantom Strike over towards the Tidehunter, stunned up again with a Clap and another Anchor Smash. They will be able to kill off Shredder one way or another. They're holding on to the Ravage, and a good call it is. 5-2, Team Pineapple.
I don't actually know why he jumped into the level 4 Anchor Smash there.
Yeah. Just
jump to the Tidehunter to get immediately Anchor Smashed, and so much damage taken.
That's also going to be the Tier 1 tower falling in the favor of Team Pineapple, and a much better start than what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah. Even without their supports roaming heavily, but they lost the mid lane, so that's one thing they have not under their control, but everything else is running into their favor, and the Luna's getting decent farm and the PA is shut down, which is the case right now. They will have a decent game in the next 10 minutes or so. But they need to keep on going with this. They need to shut down the TA even more.
Yeah, definitely.
we didn't talk about Jenkins so much because he was just like farming into the jungle all game. But actually, he's having some good farm. He built an early Hand of Midas, so he will have a fast Arcanum Scepter Doom available, I guess, and that's decent against the Brewmaster.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Especially because he's not having farming at all. So no blink in the first 8 minutes for the Brewmaster. He's even right now like 600, 700 all the way.
Yeah, Tidehunter already has his blink, so they have kind of sacrificed Bolo to this Razor lane, but they are making up for it in the fact that their Luna's been pretty much untouched, and their Tidehunter's having a great time as well.
Gank is coming in. Smoke there used.
They're going to set their sights onto poor Tail, and if they catch a magic missile, this is the end of Luna's life. She turns back into it. They don't even need a Doom, and, well, they're going to use it anyway to stop the Eclipse. So that is going to be a pretty straightforward kill for Leviathan. Luna probably would have better chances if she didn't turn up that ramp, but, yeah, just going to be caught out unawares.
She would have a better chance if they would have a ward there,
Yeah.
I guess. But because they put this ward down, which I don't know why they need it right now, because mid lane is crushed anyways.
Yeah, I think just having any control over this area would have been better than what they're getting out of the mid lane.
It's crucial, especially at the 10 minutes mark. You need to protect the jungle and the safe lane.
Definitely. Well, up towards top, we do have a Blink Ravage at the ready as they go in for Shredder. Going to open up the Anchor Smash. Ravage committed, and this should be a pretty easy kill. Although Ravage is stolen by the Rubik turnaround, Shredder is alive and going to go strong into the Tidehunter. Going to lose his life, but that's going to set up for the Tide to get killed. Now the Scarlet Mage, also in a huge pickle, is going to be burned down very slowly. Will the deny come out from the neutrals? And indeed it will, making things effectively a 1-for-1.
But nice trade there for TP, because they were shutting down the PA, and that's all they need to do. The Doom is kind of fine. You can do your job. You can get a fast Arcanum Scepter. It's not helping you in the later stages of the game, especially with the Razor. Just a decent carry, but not the perfect one, especially not against the Luna. And yeah, with the Luna just getting free from it, the PA is not getting anything right now because he's not even having his boots right now finished. So such a huge favor there for TP.
Split from Bolo as he goes into Shibi as well as into Nusham. Stun onto the Razor. They jump in for a little bit of Anchor Smash action from NSR. Focus down Shibi. It's not the easiest of targets. They're going to ignore the Rubik, at least for now. The Fire Panda has just been kind of standing over here in the meantime and really missing out on a little bit of the damage, but they'll still be able to kill off the Razor. It has been having a pretty good time. Let's see if they catch anybody on the retreat. They get Vision. They will be able to Magic Missile up and SR, and this is a very high priority kill if they can get it. With Fade Bolt from the Rubik, that is going to be secured for Leviathan, and in the end, I think that's a pretty good trade for them, or at least making it fairly even.
I think it's, again, a good trade for the Pineapple squad here.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will kill the Razor. That's the only really hero besides Doom that can crush them if the PA is shut down. Really good trade. So Shredder's actually farming the bot lane. Managed to drag Tail away from it.
Yeah, it's going to be a Midas for the Phantom Assassins. So Team Pineapple, it seems that they're... Oh, no, it's not. It's actually going to be a casual Morbid mask after a Gloves of Haste and now going into the booth. So really roundabout way of doing things, but eventually they'll settle on some pretty standard items.
Yeah, he just traded into the other direction. Bought the Morbid mask first and the boots behind it, but yeah, doesn't matter so much on the PA.
No, not really. It was just interesting. Cupcake as well as Zian are going to smoke up, but that's not going to bear any
Bolo
fruits.
uses his blink there. Clever guy.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. They don't really have any way to catch him out. The Blink Doom is really the biggest tool that Leviathan have at their disposal to catch out these pickoffs, and let's see if they're going to be able to utilize it. Going up this ramp is going to get spotted entirely by Team Pineapple, and, well, they have a Ravage at the disposal, going to let it loose onto 3. Mystic Flare onto Flying, is able to drop him down, and Nusham as well with the Plasma Field flying through Luna Eclipse, going off on the sidelines, killing the Razor. Rubik is going to steal the Ravages, second Ravage of this game, but it's not going to do much of anything as he's lost all of his teammates. That's going to be a 4-for-1 trade, and Bolo is going to get denied by his teammates, unless they get too many misses. Tidehunter's attack actually missed, but Tail's going to be able to get the deny off.
Yeah, really nicely played there from GP, and Leviathan's just doing not the right thing. They try to team fight, contest a push, but they're not actually in the really situation where they can deny a push there from TP, and yeah, that's what they should do. They should just keep on the pressure, let the Luna farm, split push, and push with the Luna together, protect her, and job is done. If the Luna catches the Manta really fast here, and the BKB follow-up, game will be really hard for Leviathan.
Game behind the tier 2 tower is the Tidehunter. He's going to be dropped down very easily, as just mass TPs coming up from Leviathan is going to save their tier 2 at the very least. Invis on the Tidehunter setting up that entire last fight, and even though he loses his life after the fact, it's still going to be a pretty beneficial trade for them, although Leviathan do catch something on the tail end of it. Speaking of the Luna... Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, Shredder's not building for kind of what you call pop build on the Phantom Assassin with the Battle Fury. So he's not having the best farm potential build on the PA. He's not having a Midas either. So he will have a hard time catching up with the Luna. And she's having such a nice farm right now, and they will not have the opportunity to farm at the rate the Luna does right now.
And
so,
also,
yeah, still ahead from 2k at this stage.
Which is pretty impressive, pretty much doubling up the farm of the Phantom Assassin. A little bit less than that, but that pretty much gives the picture of the effective items. And after this Ancient stack, it might as well be doubling up the Phantom Assassin's farm.
And he got the Bloodlust. It's actually scary.
It really is. Doom is hasted up, and he wasn't actually able to cast the Doom in that last fight, but as of now, Jenkins really hasn't done much except for farm inside his jungle, so we'll have to see if they're going to be able to abuse that, but smoke into the Roche pit coming up from Team Pineapple. They do have a pretty decent Roshan lineup, although it is risky. Let's see. They still have the split at the available. Nusham is going to be spotted out. They have a Fire Blast into him from Cupcake. Blink forward from NSR. He doesn't have the Ravage for seconds, but more than enough. Kill off that Rubik. TP out from 7N is going to fail, as Shibby does have the Eye of the Storm activated and will be able to burn down that Scarlet Mage. Loon, in the meantime, falls to the Doom. I assume that was just a blink and stare Doom, but I didn't actually see it. Chose the wrong fight, it turns out. NSR is going to be able to survive, and now the Ogre going to bounce into the Doom. Well, that is absolutely it. 2 for 1 across the map, and a very spread out engagement, if you can even call it that.
Yeah, as well as just like keep on having good farm, comeback there in the first round on the top lane, uncontested. So yeah, mistakes were made. So TP needs to really care for the Luna right now. Definitely. He shouldn't die again.
It's pretty difficult to actually keep the Luna alive if they get to jump onto her with the Doom and his Blink Dagger. But
yeah,
still,
they just need to work around him. They need Luna to push a lane, get some nice farm, and then they need to really catch the right point, have some offensive warding there, see the enemies come, and do some work around the Luna. All the lineup is working around the Luna, so they should start to... I wouldn't say they need to start 5-manning, but they need to start protecting the Luna at all costs.
Yeah, at the very least have a handful of supports behind them. Right now they do have all of their ultimates at the ready, so Team Pineapple's full mid-game teamfight is online. And I'd like to see them maybe look for a 5-man push at this point.
Yeah, they're looking strong with the push. And if they can commit Leviathan into a team fight, into a normal 5 against 5 team fight, they will have the better trade of it. If the Ravage is not stalling again, because I don't think a third time Ravage stalling would be a good thing here for TP.
Yeah, it definitely would be. Rubik has been very on the ball when it comes to actually stealing that Ravage spell, but Team Pineapple are
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Because he was catched inside of the Ravage every time, so why they don't use Gush or Ankle Smash after instead, yeah. I don't know.
Not exactly sure. He was kind of on the outskirts. At least the first steal was really nice. I think the second one was definitely avoidable. Either way, Team Pineapple are going to put together this push in the mid lane. They'll throw a concussive shot towards Shibby, but he'll be able to make his escape. Tier 1 tower looks like it is going to be taken with not much contention coming out from Leviathan. Although they do have their Doom available, they're probably more inclined to just let the Phantom Assassin farm and look for the trade down towards bot.
Yeah, at least they try to keep on harassing Shredder out of the lane. Or at least they should do it. And if there's a reaction from the Bison, they should just go back to the Luna, protect them, and maybe do a split push or so. Just force some TPs for avoiding a teamfight around Shredder.
They do drop the tower down to deny range in the bottom lane, so NSR is probably going to make quick work of the tier 1 there. And that is going to deny a little bit of gold from Leviathan, but they still are going to have a little bit more control over the enemy woods. At this point, the tier 1 towers are starting to fall off when it comes to their actual importance.
Yep. And they should really start to stack some engines again for the Luna. I mean, she could do it on her own with the Hand of Dominator or just share the creep control.
Where did that creep actually end up? At one point it was a centaur?
Yeah, they just sent it in when the Luna was farming the stack.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I would like to see them do that again. The first stack really did help accelerate the Luna's farm. It's something that you should be looking to abuse.
Yeah, they should do it all game.
Yeah, they should. BKB is going to be completed up by the Luna after this tower, and this is a really big tool for Team Pineapple to look for these fights. Even if they're able to get the Doom onto the Luna, as long as she gets the BKB out first, it's no guarantee that she's going to fall.
They just need to prevent them from initiating on the Luna. That's all they need to do. So maybe initiate on their own, or even having Bolo or so baiting it, because Bolo is not having the best impact, and I don't think he's having the best Brewmaster play, to be honest. So maybe sacrificing just the Brewmaster's life to keep your Luna alive there.
Well, we have the
there's
Agham's...
the Aghanim Scepter, yeah. Now it's getting scary if the Doom's catching up like 3 or 4 more K gold for the refresher.
And Leviathan has also been passively farming down towards the bottom lane. TP away from Shredder is going to keep him safe, or is it? Lucid Beam just a little bit slow on that cast time, so Phantom Assassin is going to survive, although only just.
Did you see that? She was hit by the Lucent Beam beside her top tier 2 tower.
Oh, I didn't
know that was possible.
Went off. Yeah, this is new physics to me. I'm not sure how that actually got cast across the map. I thought it was just a little bit off. I didn't even see it go on cooldown. Either way.
Yeah, it was on cooldown, so I was just looking on the top lane and was seeing that just the end of the animation there.
Interesting. I mean, I've seen that happen with spells, but not Lucid Beam.
Yeah, it seems OP.
Yeah. Well, Shredder's gonna think his lucky stars a split second earlier and that TP would have been cancelled.
Yep. So, actually the Vising is looking for a comeback here, because Doom is getting more and more closer to the refresher, and Shredder's also catching up with the farm. The Luna stopped farming, really, so he just he was sitting, there was just 5-manning, and that's the wrong thing. There's something else between 5-manning and just protecting someone.
Yeah, there definitely is, and Leviathan have definitely stemmed the bleeding. Roshan is going to be attempted and probably taken by Team Pineapple, but at what cost? Let's see if Leviathan are going to be able to actually contest. They find Bolo, and with the Sentry on the ground, they spawn him out. Could have saw him after the Doom. That's going to be an easy pick off onto the Brewmaster, and now it's pretty apparent that Roshan's going down. It's going down quickly, however, Leviathan
they cannot fight.
Yeah.
With all the Doom, they cannot fight.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't. And right now, Doom is on cooldown for like 80 seconds, and they should use the timing of the double life on the Luna so to make, some trades. Maybe get a tier 2 tower or something. Or even risking her to die on the safe lane and backing her up on TPs.
Fair enough.
Could also be an option. Just getting her to farm more dangerous with the Aegis.
It really feels like Team Pineapple need to do something with this Aegis and accomplish some major map objectives, because just sitting back on these ultimates and doing nothing is giving Leviathan a bigger opportunity than they need to. Especially once Double Doom comes out, Leviathan are going to have such an easy time of taking these fights when the Luna's the only one to get the farm. And honestly, the other heroes on Team Pineapple just don't scale well enough.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually the problem that they don't scale enough, but the problem that they're not farmed enough to scale anything close to what they could. Because the Brewmaster, again, is having a really bad time. The Ogre Magi is at least trying to get an Aghanim Scepter, the Skull of Mage, sacrificing everything there for 4 stuff. Not sure if it's worth it. And Titan is the only one who's actually having some impact besides the Luna.
Yeah, more or less. Right now, Bolo is just sitting on the Blink Dagger as well as Vladimir's offering. Really hasn't been able to get off that split, much less actually get kills inside the split.
It was just a Ravage winged in the team fights the last time.
Yeah, for the most part.
Good Ravage is it as well, yeah. It's always a 4-man Ravage or so.
Well, they're going to jump in mid with double damage rune on tail. Leviathan aren't really interested in fighting. They'll get the split off and now focus down Shibu. With the Mystic Flare, they'll be able to bring him down. There's the Ravage. Going to catch out Shredder as well as the Vengeful Spirit on the sidelines. No swap available there, even though they only focus down 1. They'll be able to catch down Flying Zebra secondarily. That's going to be 3-0 and presumably a tier 2 tower going the way of Team Pineapple. They will lose the Alpha Wolf, unfortunately, but the remainder of that DD is going to make quick work of this.
Yeah, still a good trade, but I mean, it's the little things, and the Alpha Wolf can be important because it's a pretty important creep for the Luna, especially if you have it. it's rare to find, and if you have it as a Luna, you don't want to lose it at all. Because it's doing so much work.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Ignite's going to be thrown out by the Ogre going to be destroyed by Nusham. Doom flies out on the sidelines. Bola's going to drop down, but he already used the split. And now into Jenkins, they're going to focus, and they should be able to bring this one down. They will do so with the Lucid Beam. BKB forced out by Tate. Lucid Beam stolen by the Rubik, but with the Eclipse pop flying, Zebra going to be obliterated. Swap going to save his life, but no! How did that actually hit? Was that one more... Was that one more glaive?
Yeah.
I think that was a glaive. Okay.
Yeah, that was a glaive. But I don't actually know why they're trying to fight deep inside of the dire base there. They should just get the Rex. I mean, they had the potential to get the Rex. They have the Aegis on the Luna still online. And they were just like trying to fight back beside the tier 4 towers. And that's not the thing that I want to do there.
Yeah. I mean, they win the fight, but after they blow their Doom on the Brewmaster... After he
it was
already
actually
used his
pretty
split.
bad.
Yeah, it really was, because they have the Luna with the Eclipse, BKB, as well as Aegis, and I think they probably could have committed to the barracks, you're right. At the very least, get the tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, the tier 3, of course, and they should have been able to, even if they have to commit the Aegis there from the Luna. To get the Ravage, it's actually pretty huge, especially against a TA who's not having Midas or Battle Fury online.
Shredder in mid, going to be forced to pop the BKB, swapped out by Flying Zebra, is going to be just fine, although they are forced to blow through, I believe, the 10-second BKB charge, and indeed it is on Shredder.
But is it actually hurting them so much?
No.
That's the question, because the magic damage is actually not so much on TP's side. If she's just evading the ultimate there from Skylash Match, he should be fine.
I mean, if you do get like the 3 times multicast, that does really do a dent into the Phantom Assassin, but you can't count on it for sure.
So right now they're pushing. It's the right call. They should go for for another push here. When the maybe even sacrifice the Brewmaster again to get the Ravage, to get the Doom there, because I was telling about it. Bolo is not having the best Brewmaster play I've seen. He's behind in farm. He's not having the best impact. And why not just over-aggressively blink onto the Doom and hope that he will sacrifice this Doom?
Ooh, TP 10 by Shredder. They're not going to be able to cancel it. Lucid Beam too slow, Cupcake a little too far away, and they didn't want to commit the Ravage. So another close TP from the Phantom Assassin. At least a third this game.
Actually, I think that would be a really good strategy. Just make the Brewmaster aggressively blink onto the Doom, fake a Primus break, and hope the Doom will Doom you, and just win the game off that.
Yeah, I definitely think that that is probably a pretty good way to approach a team fight, but unfortunately this time around, Tail not going to have an Aegis. If he had the Aegis, I think it's fine that even if they get the Luna doomed, at least she'll be able to come back after the fact, and they won't have a Doom up and ready to go for at that point, so... Yeah, Team Pineapple, they find themselves missing a bit of an opportunity window that they could have really hammered in. Roshan's going to respawn about 4 minutes pretty soon after the theoretical time, about halfway timer or so.
Yeah, and right now, Shredder is also not catching up with the farm, so it's the only hope of Leviathan to have Shredder really coming back into the game. But Luna's having fair amount of farm, and right now she could just split push, I think. With a BKB, she should be able to TP out every time if there's no Doom or Vengeful swap.
Honestly, one of the biggest pickups in quite a while is going to be for Team Pineapple and the Agnum Scepter for Cupcake, which is going to make their magic damage quite a bit scarier, and just the raw amount of lockdown that they can pump into, like the Phantom Assassin or the Doom, if they get caught out without their BKBs or after the BKBs.
But they need to be careful with it, because he's not having mana boots, or he's having Soulbring, but that doesn't help so much. So if he's just like using the Fire Blast, the Ignite, and then the unrefined Fire Blast, he will have no mana at this team fight. He really needs to into the last seconds. Oh,
that was a very interesting Doom. This is going to be a pretty straight up deny in the Skywrath Mage. Is that really worth it?
No.
Oh, he missed the deny.
Oh, he missed it. Okay, it's still not worth it.
No, it's not, but yeah, it could have been a lot worse, I suppose. At the very least, he's getting some gold from that, but this is an 80-second window where Team Pineapple...
Yeah, this needs to be the call. We wait 30 seconds until the Skywrath Mage is back again. And when the Skywrath Mage is back again, we want to have the lanes, or at least 2 lanes, have pushed into the Dire base and then go for a Rex. That needs to be the call here.
Yeah, it
Doom
might
was
be.
everything they could have been. And they have double Ravage now on the Tidehunter as well. So that's a perfect timing actually for the Doom to be wasted on just like a support hero, just like having a low respawn cooldown.
Yeah, not exactly sure what the call was there for Leviathan. Felt like Jenkins just kind of got a little answer.
Why is he doing that?
I
He's
don't know.
denying all his crew. He creeps to. Oh my god. What the fuck? Why would you deny like 5 creeps running 50% HP to the enemy's T3 tire if you want to push?
Who knows? Well, it is going to buy them a little bit of time where the Scarlet Mage could join the fight, but he's currently down towards bottom. Why not just go straight up towards the high ground now? And after waiting
But there
for
was
a
a
fresh
catapult
creep
wave. They could have pushed with a catapult wave. That would have been huge if they, even with a need to commit to a team fight, the catapult would have been so much damage.
This is also really awkward. They're backing off with the Luna. This is an opportunity that I think they're really missing out on. Double Ravage, all of their cooldowns up.
Yeah, they're scared. I mean, they know the Leviathan is probably the more like experienced and more skilled teams, and yeah, they have the more skilled players. They're more experienced, and they're scared to really go for it right now.
I can understand that, but now the window is completely closed as Doom comes back off of cooldown. Team Pineapple, I think they could have committed a little bit harder to that. Let's see.
Yeah, they had a double Ravage, man. They had a double Ravage, and they could have blown them up so easily with a double Ravage. If they don't catch the Blink Dagger timings the really right moment, I can't even contest that.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to wait for the next Roshan, which is going to be up in about a minute or so. And by that time, they should have an MKB up for the Luna as well, so the damage coming up from Team Pineapple is pretty immense at this point. We'll have to see if another opportunity arises, but for now, the danger is passed for Team Leviathan, or at least that one subpar Doom. It ends up working out for them.
Yeah, and the best call here
just one kill
for Bolo. He stopped going for his BKB because he's realizing he's not having such a great impact. He's realizing he's a sacrificial hero for the Doom. So he's just getting a gem, right call.
Yeah, he should probably just help get some dewarding action for the rest of his team. But yeah, I do like it as well. BKB isn't going to be a reliable way to get off that ultimate anyway, because of the Doom spell, so we'll have to see how that actually works out for them. They group up for a smoke, and this 4-man unit is incredibly scary. They laid the Tidehunter out as bait, but honestly, nobody's gonna bite on that one. Who do they actually expect to come out and farm over here?
I actually think they want to commit there something. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
They need. I think they will just like go with the Tidehunter, split onto the base, and then they're just like waiting for the creeps to come out again. Just like they push back off and smoke for something to stay back behind. And they have a ward there, so that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they are going to spot this out. They should know what the plan is here from Team Pineapple, but they'll just fall back. Roshan's up now, and Team Pineapple are going to be pretty comfortable fighting inside this Roshan pit with the double Ravage as well as split online. So they're going to be able to take this one, where Leviathan get a tier 2 tower in trade up towards top.
I don't think they can actually contest this Roshan. It's going too fast. They're too late. Venture is there for a split, for a swap out maybe, but that's all they can do. Yeah. This time they pick the Aegis fast, and Luna now online with the BKB, MKB, Montastal, and the Aegis. It's looking scary here. Really looking scary, especially with the double Ravage not even shown, I think. Because I didn't see the Tidehunter, I guess. No, he was farming a lane, right?
Yeah, it's definitely been shown to the enemy team, but it's very scary. Right now, Team Pineapple pretty much have all of the tools at their disposal that they need to push high ground. I think they should, at the very least, look to pick a fight.
Yeah, definitely they should. Especially because right now the PA is working on maybe a straight up MKB or so, because that would be a really huge item for him, just jumping the Luna MKB, Abyssal Blade him, I mean, and finish the job.
Yeah.
So they need to prevent the Shadow from getting a bit more farm here.
Yeah, right now at this point, Team Pineapple are vastly superior when it comes to team fighting potential. I don't think it really matters who gets doomed. There's just not an ideal target. You kind of have to kill off the Luna one time and then doom her the second time. And that's just incredibly hard when you have a Tidehunter dropping double Ravages inside there. And
yeah, also the Luna, if you doom the Luna right now, it's not actually so much scary. You need to really kill him very, very fast. Or if you don't do that, the Bloodlust on the Luna with your out attack speed and the glaives bouncing around it, so will do some work.
Definitely. Well, looks like Team Pineapple are going to put everything together, go down the mid lane, with Luna just chipping away and actually chunking away. This tier 3 tower, tier 3 is going to fall.
That's such a huge ignite there, thrown out by the Odra Magi, hitting 3 heroes.
Yeah.
And this is the part where the Luna's bounces are actually getting so scary. Yeah, they could just like send him there, and it prevents all Blink Dagger initiations. It prevents them the initiate for the opponent. It's so much work done.
Split going to be used prematurely as they doom up NSR. NSR is going to be removed from this fight as they jump in with Shredder. Cupcake's going to be able to turn for 1 Fire Blast, 2 Fire Blast, and that's going to be the end of Phantom Assassin's life. Forced to buy back here.
Just keep on hitting the barracks, yeah.
Yeah. This is pretty much the call. They're going to be able to take the melee barracks very easily. And now it should be just them backing out. Shredder jumps with the BKB on to 7M. And it's going to be able to take that one. But Luna's doing a little bit too much damage for him to go for anything more than just the Brewmaster and the Sky. TP, although it costs them a handful of kills, they still get what they came for as long as nobody else dies on their tree.
Yeah, I mean, they got a decent trade, but to be honest, they got a really bad fight for what they could have had.
They definitely could have had a
the
better
Tide was
fight.
so over aggressive. I mean, we knew there was a Doom available, and with he's the one who's supposed to stay in the background and wait for the Doom to pop. If it doesn't matter if it's on the Aegis Lunar or if it's on the Brewmaster, who's not having any impact on the time on that time now, but he needs to pop those Ravages, and with him being over aggressive, just running towards the Doom without having the blink activation.
Yep, it's definitely a good point. So we'll have to see what they're going to be able to do with this after the fact. Tail is currently still sitting on that Aegis, although it's not going to be lasting for much longer. It's just going to time out in about a minute and a half. Still, oh, actually pumping into Jenkins, this time without a Doom. Tail is going to Manta now look for a turn into the Doom, but Scorched Earth is a little too fast and can't get that kill solo without committing anything further, and with no backup on the sidelines. They are going to steal Gush, return that into NSR. The Shredder's going to jump him. That's your first Ravage command, going to land onto both the Doom and onto Shredder. They don't launch the second Doom. He's still going to hold on to that Refresher, but Shredder's dropping too low. Blink Strike over the Razor is the Glaives. Kill off the Rubik just by bouncing off of several of their heroes. Luna going to throw a Lucid Beam into Shredder, and this is a great fight for them. Ravage onto actually nothing except for the Razor, who is BKB'd up, but doesn't even matter. They should still be able to kill off the Razor. Is NSR going to survive after the fact? Plasma Field is going to say no, although NSR gives up his life for this one. They have a buyback on the Doom, so let's see how this next fight goes.
Not sure why the Ravage just popped there.
Yeah. Really
Actually,
felt super antsy.
Maybe he was thinking the BKB was about to fade off or so, I don't know. But yeah, they still do a decent trade. There's still an Aegis on the Luna.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, and Shredder's going to drop down to the burn damage.
This is GG.
It really feels like it. That is good game, and we're going to a game 3 here in the JDL Division 1-2 semifinals.
Yeah, very well played there from Pineapple, so I must say. They did it okay this time, protecting, going for late game strategy with the Luna, crushing Shredder really hard and just doing the right calls. They didn't execute it perfectly, but I don't expect that from an unexperienced team. So they've done all they could, and Leviathan looking, for some trouble here. I'm really excited for the last game here.
Definitely. Well, that will be coming up shortly, so don't go anywhere. Team Pineapple is going to have a chance to take a win over Leviathan in just a couple minutes here.